financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Happy New Year! Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Brian Small, Happy New Year to you, buddy.
Happy New Year. It's wonderful to be here. Looking forward to a wonderful 2022.
Hughes must have been planning that out for the whole year. Jeffrey Linden, good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year, Ken.
Happy New Year to you, too.
A lot of
Pat,
Tuesdays.
Happy New Year.
Hi, how are you?
So, today's topic is this is a Happy New Year show. We're going to try and, we don't really need to do financial crisis management. We don't need to dig into, the heart of legal issues. I kind of want to just use it as a wrap-up of last year and a going into next year.
We have 51 more weeks. We can talk about all that other stuff.
Absolutely.
I would like to just forget 2021 and forget 2020. I'm still remembering that. So,
I mean, I find
It's
this
hard.
year to have been, for me, just an extremely sobering year. Just I've tried to, in the last week, think of the good things that happened during the year and the bad things that happened. You can't help it happening. I mean, Oxford is kind of the culmination of the year where it's the worst thing that's happened in decades. There's nothing worse than what's happened at Oxford. But and I kind of summed it up and I said, what happened that was good? And I recognized I had a granddaughter born in March, Demi, and so that was positive. And then it comes down to nobody close to me died. There were a few engagements announced and so forth, but it really came down to nothing horrible internally happened to me close. And then the next thing I thought about was Danny Fenster was released from prison, being held illegally in Burma's successor but that was a bad thing that happened in May when they took him prisoner. So I kind of have this. I reflect at the end of the year. Do you guys? I look at
Usually.
what's happened, where are we going, and I do it individually, and I do it globally. What's the world like? And I don't know. What's your take?
I can tell you, last year when we had the 3 months off with COVID, everybody was shot down. I really enjoyed that time that I could reflect on changing the office and not working as hard and getting reconnected with the family. And then this year I implemented that. So I took more time off and didn't let the work pile up on the shoulders as much and sort of look at the big picture and what's more important than just grinding it out every single day. So I thought 21 was a really pretty good year.
Yeah, for me, I think it just highlighted that anything can happen at any time and you never know, and to appreciate the people in your lives and do good things for yourself and your family in addition to the work you have to do. Just to take stock and be thankful for every day that you have.
no, there's an absolute true statement to that. You
Well,
have
both
to.
Pats too, as well.
You have
Take-
to.
smell the roses. Take some time.
Yeah, you have to.
If you can.
If you don't take the time, you don't want to be that guy that dies at his desk, not having spent time with his family, or her family, so to speak. You have to make sure that you have balance. And if 2021 was anything positive, it created balance. But there was so much bad that went on that it's hard to get over that. And I just have, hopefully, a lot of hope for 2022. I'd like to think if people could just take a moment to be kinder, to be gentler, to say thank you and please, and just step back.
You're prompting another issue of where we are as a nation. But before we get to that, I just want to say, if I follow Pat's idea, I'm going to try and reduce the workload that I'm doing, so I'm going to shift it to the two of you.
You're damn right. You get all the glory, and they do all.
So
My
I'm
thing at the
I am now
office.
looking forward to 2022. I want you to know that I'll see you guys in March.
Yeah, I walk into my office meetings. I go, okay, clients, these are my teams. They do all the work, but I get all the glory. And
Yeah.
the funny thing is, though, what was so bad with 2020. And I look at our notes on talking about social media. The social media posts are so horrific with the campaigns and the COVID, and everything was politicized. Now that got behind us, 21 was actually nice and calm on the social media, but 2022 is the next election year.
You're
It's gonna-
right. I mean, I was totally engaged in 2020 up until the presidential election. 'Cause I
Right.
had some very
Engaged, is
strong,
that what you call
I
it?
had some very strong feelings about that. And then as soon as that ended, I went basically dark on social
Yeah.
media posts. And I've enjoyed not being involved in it. And I don't really think that I intend to go back. But there was a reason. At the end of the day, I felt it was a waste of time.
Well, you say here,
Because
is there a better
people-
way to debate with my friend? There's no
Yeah.
debating on social. This is my point, and hell with everybody else. It's not a nice, good
It's not just so-
conversation back and
That's
forth.
what I'm troubled by.
This
Yeah.
is why you should just post pictures of puppies
and
and
bowls
children.
and woodworking.
And
But
that's
it's
it.
not just so
Woodworking.
That's true about posting on social media, but that's not what I'm troubled by. That's the state of discourse in this nation. You can't have a political conversation even with your friends. It's difficult
No.
to have a good conversation even with your friends.
Because you got to pick your friend that has the same beliefs as you have. You're going to see, if you seek out that friend, if that's your ideology, the conversation's
I'll tell you
fine,
where
but
it
there's
is.
no back and
Here's
forth.
where it is. If you go back 30 years, we had moderates in the United States. And you were a moderate Republican or a moderate Democrat. Today, you are an extreme
Polarized.
left or extreme right.
I
You're
disagree.
polarized.
I don't agree with you on that. You still have moderates and you still have people in the middle, but the conversation is dominated by the extremes, and it drowns out the voice of the people
But
that
it's
have
not.
moderation.
It's not issue driven. You have to pick a side. You can't go this side, but that issue, like abortion, you're on one side or the other, but you can't go back and forth between this and that.
Let's
Well,
take a
there's no
break.
ways.
We'll come back and we'll stay right on this.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
I love you too. Bye-bye. That was Jerry. Emma just said her first word.
Oh.
Jerry says hello and they'll be over soon.
Who's Jerry? Is he a friend of yours?
No. This Jerry. Our Jerry. And this is his wife and their little girl.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, we're back. We're coming. Jeff, you were going to say something.
It's nobody's open-minded anymore. It's you have your opinion. If you don't agree with somebody else, you don't want to hear it. It gets shut down. Nobody's willing to listen to somebody else.
Wait, you're
I'm more than willing to
Wait,
listen to you, but you're completely wrong.
You're absolutely wrong, and I'm leaving. Hell with all you guys.
I mean, they're joking, but they're not joking.
And I'm
That's
gonna
what
delete you as
Why-
my friend.
but where did we get there? What happened is there's been a change where that type of behavior of not listening to what the person is saying to you and totally rejecting what they have has become acceptable. It's
Right.
acceptable for me to say, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about,
Right.
and there's no point talking to you anymore. Either it's my way or it's the highway. And
How is that
everybody
different from you for the last 30 years?
Well, because
everybody is talking to each other that way, and nobody's listening
Listen,
to
I
each
got a
other.
wife and 2 daughters at home. I have not been right in my house in 35 years.
That's normal. That's normal.
We'll talk about that on another
If you
show.
say to me classic examples of this in the last year, talk about masks, vaccines, and shutdowns. Right versus left, guns. Everybody has an opinion, and nobody who has an opinion really bothers to engage the other side's opinion, and nobody approaches an issue with a goal of compromise. I'm not saying it's everybody else. I find myself part of that same process.
I think a big part of the problem is that we've moved away from a neutral source of information, and now we have captive sources of information that cater to your predisposed beliefs. And so there's no uniform set of facts which people can go, oh, that's interesting, I didn't know that. What happens is people go, I don't believe you, you're listening to the wrong outlet.
Right, you're
And I'll
not
go-
getting your news from.
I'm only going to listen and watch something that endorses
Right.
what I believe, regardless of whether I've really vetted the truth of the matter.
Right.
You're
That's
not getting your
Facebook.
news anymore from Walter
And it's,
Cronkite or
and it's
Frank
also
Reynolds.
Fox, and it's
Yeah.
also MSNBC.
Right.
MSNBC and CNN confirms the people
And it's-
on one side. Fox confirms the people on the other. That's
And
what
it
everyone
covers
believes.
That's
and it
why-
covers every issue that people need to talk about.
That's why I only get my information from TikTok. That's
Right.
where the only,
There you go. Tick tock, tick tock.
That has more to do with your attention span.
which is exactly the rest of the world right now. Your attention span is this
I think
30 seconds.
there's a lack of civility. There's a lack of civility that we need to bring back. Look at Congress. Look at the way they're behaving. They're behaving like children. Yes, you can have the extreme right, you can have the extreme left, which I don't like either of the extremes. But I don't understand the allowing for us as a nation. We are the ones that put these people in office. We are the people that they are supposed to representing. We need to tell them, behave. Behave in a civil manner. Stop the BS attacking each other like your children. Stop bullying each other and act like citizens.
But
And
that would assume that the
that's a demand
citizens
we
that-
have to make.
That would assume that the citizens that vote for those individuals want them to behave, and they don't. They are extreme. There's so many people out there that are so happy with the way certain politicians act, whether they're on the left or on the right, and that they're sticking their heads out and screaming at that one and yelling.
Why are they doing that?
Because
they weren't doing that 15 years ago.
They
Maybe
started.
they felt that way, but they weren't doing it. What license gave them? Where did we give people from us sitting at the table to those in Washington license to act like
I think
animals?
social
When did that
media-
happen?
The
I think
2016 election.
Absolutely, because
I agree,
it gave
but
them the
well,
voice.
everyone-
But
yeah.
even with social media, it allows you to get your voice out there and not have any repercussions to it.
Right.
You're
In the old
Everybody
posting
is a
your
platform.
But in
posts
the
and your
old
photos.
days, if you went into a group meeting or you were at a dinner
Right.
with a bunch of your friends who were Republicans and,
Yeah.
and Democrats, and you acted like an animal,
Right.
and you insulted everybody, you know what would happen? Everyone would say,
You're not
"Get
invited
this
back.
guy out of here."
Yeah.
You wouldn't get invited back.
That's
now,
that conversation-
instead, the room is divided, one side versus the other, and everyone says, "Okay, let's go in the middle and talk about sports because we can't talk about anything else."
That's conversation still going on every second of the day on those Facebook posts. You posted the both sides are going arguing back and forth, but you don't have the face-to-face that's trying to calm people down. It's,
how
But
do
you
we
know
sol-
what? It's
how do we
even
solve it?
become pervasive in the court system.
Yes.
For years, we in the courts we've talked about civility,
Civility.
bringing civility back, and it's like you take 2 steps forward and 3 steps backwards in civility with the court. And the way people have a lack of respect, certain attorneys have a lack of respect for the court system, the judges. They don't show up with their suits pressed and their ties on. They
You know, I'm going
Zoom
to
a
challenge
lot
you
of
on
it,
that a little
yeah.
bit perception-wise, because what you're saying has been true for a long time. If you said to me, on the measure of the scales, I think the courts and the lawyer process in court is more civil now on a scale of comparison to the rest of society.
I think
You cannot walk into court with a judge and say to the other attorney, "You're an idiot. You are a jerk. Get out of here." You can't insult the other person. The
Right.
judge will say, "What is your problem? Get out of my courtroom.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you in jail." There's more civility in the court system than there is in the rest of the
Yes,
system.
but you still see a loss of it in the court system, and you know it.
Zoom.
It's
Yeah.
just terrible.
Zoom.
You
people
see
are-
Relatively
it
speaking.
because when in the court system, particularly if you have depositions and things like that, and you don't have a judge overseeing what's going on, you have those same people coming into the room that have that predisposition of only caring about themselves and not being civilized. But how do we get beyond it? What's the solution? I have a thought process. I don't know that'll happen. We need a leader to emerge that somehow can rally all Americans back to the point of saying we can have differing views, but we have to engage each other like Americans.
Are we ever going to see a
I don't know
politician
whether we'll
like
see
that
someone
again?
like that.
I have my doubts. You're not going to see. It's going to be very difficult to see a JFK
We'll
or
take
a
a break.
Ronald Reagan.
We'll take
or
a
something
break
like
and we'll
that
come
to
back on that.
Bring humanity back together.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Time for announcements. I want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 o'clock a.m., Saturdays 7 o'clock a.m., and on KISS 105.9, Sundays 7 o'clock a.m. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation via teleconference, in office. You know, we're COVID smart, but we can do it in the office, or we can do it through Zoom or on the telephone, whatever makes you most comfortable. Just call 888-235-HELP or go online and sign up. We cover debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business issues, elder law issues with Pat, disability issues with Jeff. Again, just sign up at lawandreality.com or call 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Also, go online for our free reports, Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Ken Gross and Jeff Linden, Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small, How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure, Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan, and The Retiree's Guide to Social Security from Pat Samasco. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Samasco Law, and Kirshner Law. Now, back to the show.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
You're right, and your thought process of that's what we need, someone who can rally people. My answer is I don't know who that person is now, but the answer is yes. Just as we had people before who were leaders, and just as we have gone through a dissension to uncivilized behavior, I think attributable to an elected leader as well, someone can still come forward and rally people. I think that's what we need. I just don't know what the other solution is. I'm willing, I recognize that I have to maybe step back from my grounded beliefs that other people are wrong and that I'm right on the issue of even civility. My problem is that I think that we've transcended into a society that is not acting with a level of intelligence. Science and knowledge and medicine is based upon legitimate research, and you can't discard it and accept any article that you read on the internet as being gospel because it happens to say what you want it to say.
But that's your opinion.
That you
and here's
just
the thing.
delegitimized 50% of the world.
I know. I
Yeah.
recognize that that's what I'm doing by saying it. So I have to find a way of being more open-minded to lack of mindness.
No.
Well, no, you
no.
just-
You don't. Wait,
I
stop.
know.
Stop. You don't have to be more
You're wrong,
open-minded.
and I'm leaving.
Right.
You don't have to be more open-minded. You have to be more polite about it. You have to be accepting that somebody else has a difference of opinion. And you don't have to stand on the rooftop and shout it out.
You know, but when I let my class ended, so I teach at Michigan State, and my class ended, and I said, you know, my goal is for every student in the world to be so passionate about their causes, but do it in a respectful way. You have to
Absolutely.
engage in the process to fix the process, but try to fix it in the correct,
Well, all right, so
way.
it's 2022. What do we do?
I think we have to make a resolution to be more civil and to try and, when we engage other people with differing views, we have to step back and we have to first listen to them and try and reason back with them to the points
What
that
about
are
all
their
the
concern.
political correctness? Though? You can't say anything without being labeled a non-politically correct person. I mean, where's the, on the other side, having a little bit of a thick skin about?
Yeah, it's, I mean...
Well, it's tolerance across the board. You know, it's we need to get back to what we don't. Everybody's preaching through their megaphone about what they want, and nobody's actually trying to solve the issues anymore.
Yeah.
Because the solution isn't from yelling through a microphone. The solution is to listening, coming up with ideas and compromise.
Well,
and we're lacking compromise.
It's like the outcome of any court case. Mutually dissatisfied people
We
walk
won.
away means you won.
We won.
And that's because there's an art of compromise. And the art of compromise is gone in society right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult situation that we're at. But I think it still comes back to a starting point is you have to be civilized. You have to stop the rhetoric and you have to stop the extremism and you have to be open-minded. Whether we can get there, I don't know. We're coming to the end of the show. I just kind of want to. We're going to scroll the names of people that were with us that we lost this year. There are a lot of good people. You know, the 4 kids in Oxford. It's just a shame. You know, heartfelt sympathy to those families. In Detroiters, you know, we lost Benny Napoleon. We lost Steve Hood. Steve Hood was actually the first producer of our show.
He died. I didn't. Oh my God! I didn't know that.
A lot of good people are gone. And then we've got the year coming. We've got to let's take something from this show. Let's try and be kind. Listen to our neighbors. Tone down the rhetoric. See what we can get. See if we can get the other person to join that process, and maybe we can emerge as a better society.
Let's hope so. 2022, I've got hope for you.
And I got a whole bunch of work for you two guys
got a
to
limerick?
do so that I
Is that
can
a
cut
limerick?
back and enjoy life like Pat has told me. Have a great year, everybody. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.